in Southwest Florida. I am Rockin' Dave from Southwest Florida. Maybe I'll do a little picking before we get people, coming on to the channel. Let's see. Alright, everyone out there, just having a little bit of a fun. Usually I stand up and I'm playing my electric. And I see we got two people logged on right now. I thank everyone that has subscribed. It means a lot. And I can't thank you guys enough for this. And again, thank you. And again, the purpose of me doing this is not to show off what I can or cannot do. And I'm going to be honest, I do want to use it to promote myself. And, who would not want to use this platform to promote themselves? But I also want to spotlight and talk about you guys. People who are out there, either you're gigging or you're not gigging, or you're playing guitar, and maybe back in the day you worked so hard. Hey, howdy, man. Ben Coombs, good seeing you, man. Hey, everyone out there. Yeah, our metal podcast. Hey, we love you guys, man. Absolutely love you guys. Ben, I'm going to see if I can do this real quick. I'm going to show you I love your pedal board. I love your pedal board. And what I like about yours, it's not going to be that heavy. And the reason being, I don't know if you guys remember these type of pedal boards. Let's see if I can do this. I'm so sorry about this, guys. I got to do all kind of... I want you to see my belly button. My unpierced navel. Sorry, guys. So, if you could see this, that's the SKB that's got the power supply. That power supply makes it a little bit on the heavy side. And it works. Don't get me wrong. Sorry about the shot, my friends. It works, but man, it gets heavy. So, there's that Jim Guitarists out there. Hey, what's up, Jim? I like watching your guys' videos. I really like watching your guys' videos. I watch your guys' videos more than I watch the concert videos and the signed. And I'm not trying to say anything bad about it, but I like watching what you guys do because it reminds me of what we were doing back in the day. And of course, a lot of you guys come from back in the day, so all we're doing is using this platform to further that. And just closed up the shop for lunch to hang here. Hey, thanks, Ben. Appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it. I like the way that you close out your videos by saying keep doors open for people. That's that is such a powerful statement. Nothing worse than closing doors in people's faces and not giving them the opportunity. So it's a powerful statement. So I think, Ben, you said something to the fact that you got rehearsal this weekend. Yeah, you're very welcome, Ben. That's so important. That really is so important. So I think you said something to the fact that you guys got rehearsal this weekend. And, oh yeah, no problem, Jim. Jim, I did send it. I don't know, maybe you send it back, but what I want to do is see if I can put some solos to some of your videos, but not overplay them and not overshadow them or anything like that. I always like to ask people's permission, though, because, just out of respect, Of course, I'll be doing it, old school, but until I can figure out how to do the superimposing. And I do thank Ben Coombs as well as giving me the information about it's got to be on the laptop, and it's oh yeah, finished the board and had a jam last night. Nice. Oh, cool. Thanks, Jim. Right on, Dave. Jim Guitarists. So, yeah, you're gonna find that board is gonna be handy, man. what I usually do, I'll put like a towel to keep things from floating around, like some of my cords and that. But what's nice about these things, you just load the pedals up, drop your pedal board, take the top off, and you're good to go. You know, that's the cool thing about it. So yeah, I think you said you had a jam last night, and I think you guys might be doing some gigs. And how many guitar players out there are gigging out there? Yeah, well, let's wait till we get a response. Cause I type things in too, and it's usually with one finger, you know. And as we know, some of the gigs they kind of disappear. But yeah, finished the jam. I gig as much as I can, Ben. Yeah, Ben. And it's a lot of fun. It really is. You know, whether you make money out there, if you don't make money, if you can, you know, more power to you. We're very fortunate and blessed. We've been making some money down here. Right there, Deb. My wife, Deb, she's right over here. She's busy right now. And again, I said in my past videos that she does all my bookings and whatnot. You know, she does the phone calls as well as I'll do the phone calls. And you know how that is. You're a salesman. When you're a musician, you're also a salesman. And you are selling one of the hardest products to sell. Because how many times have you heard people say, well, I'll tell you what, we'll give you the gig for exposure. And then that's not really too bad to do if you want to, you know, start to generate an audience and a following. But if you've been doing the exposure deal for X amount of years, then you know what, it's almost not worth it. Unless, you know, you want to do that. There's nothing wrong with that, if that's what you want to do. But if your intention is also to help make some money come in, you know, you can't do everything for free. And one of the meetings we went to, yeah, right on, Dave. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Jim. Yeah, gig as much as you can. And yet, you know what? Here's the thing. One of the, I forgot what I was gonna say now. It happens. Hey, this is all live, man. I'm not like Memorex, you know. Is it Memorex or is it live? No, it's live, you know. No double takes, no doctoring things up. I just, you know, I'm not that type of person. I don't like doing that, you know. Not ashamed to if you make a mistake, because that's life. No one's perfect. But I know where I was going to go with this. One of the chamber meetings we were at, and as a lady was saying about selling insurance is very difficult, and I said, yeah, it is, you know. But when's the last time you went to sell insurance that someone told you do it for exposure? Yeah, see? When's the last time a bar owner has, well, open up your shop for this week and see how it goes and don't collect any money? You know, but the musicians, I'll tell you what, do it for exposure. We got YouTube. We don't need, you know, free gig exposures. And again, it's if you want to do that, you know. That's all. So Thursday, I was watching Ben Coombs, a little bit of his live chat, and he was talking about the winding roads. Yeah, in that area down in Pine Island, there's no lights at nighttime, man. So what you saw during the day, just imagine at night. You know, it's total darkness. And you just watch your speed, you know. Don't drive like an idiot and you won't be into the ditch and in some alligator's mouth or something, you know. I have not seen the gators down here in this area. Where I have seen them is when we did a couple of gigs in Miami and then over in Delray Beach, because we're on the Gulf side. So when we had to drive through, I forget the name of the highway, but they call it Alligator Alley. It's a long stretch, and there's nothing but like forestry and like swamp areas, but it's fenced off. And as you drive by, if you look in the ponds, you could see them floating around in there. And but you know, occasionally they'll get out and they'll wander around through the streets. But you know, it's not like it's Jurassic Park down here or anything like that, because they do have, yeah, it's more like Gilligan's Island than Jurassic Park down here, because they do have animal control. You know, just imagine you get someone that's got a very expensive poodle and the dog gets eaten, and now here comes the lawsuits net. Oh yeah, sounds like the sunrise area south of Miami. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it is nice down here. But gig-wise, I forget exactly who it was. It might have been R2, R3, or it might have been Dry Heat 480. I'm sorry, guys. Whoever it was. Hey, what's happening, man? Speaking of Dry Heat, what's happening, guys? They asked me how are the gigs down here as opposed to back in Chicago. There's plenty of gigs down here. And what's so strange for me is that I'm getting phone calls from the club owners, the bar owners. Anyone back up in Illinois, and especially the area that we were living, which was like Aurora, Naperville, southwest Chicago suburbs. We'd play at Penny Road Pub up in Barrington, and we'd play at, Bada Brew and that. And they're all fun gigs, and they're all cool places, so I'm not trying to knock them. But, they never call you back to give you a paying gig. You got to call them. That's just the way everything is. And of course, to be fair about it, the taxes are high and everything up there. So, of course, they're in business to make money. And they have to make sure they have money to pay their suppliers, which is their beer suppliers. I mean, I don't drink at all. But for people who do, imagine you go to a club, you're going to see a band play, and you're thirsty, and you want to hoist maybe Schlitz or Budweiser or Old Style or something. Well, guess what? If they don't have any beer, you might stick around to see the band play, but you might be jonesing for a drink, and you go across the street and then maybe come back, and that's the reality. So everyone's got the bills to pay. But what's so different about down here is that yesterday I got a call from the owner, who also does, or I think he's part of the owner of the Blue Monkey down in Naples, Illinois. I mean, Naples, Florida. See, Naples sounds so close to Naperville, Illinois, and I've done so much stuff in Naperville that it's like I'm getting my words all crisscrossed. But anyway, this guy calls. His name is Ryan, great guy, giving us another gig. I think it's June 30th. He asked if I could do a gig this Saturday, but I've got a wedding gig I got to do this Saturday. So I had to turn that down. And then we're doing Rusty's. Rusty's another place we play at in Cape Coral. They call. They give us the gigs. Fort Myers is picking up. Of course, I do my regular gig at a place called Le Corte Bistro. It's a real fancy, upscale restaurant that you can still dress casual because it gets so hot down here, Can't expect everyone to walk around in a suit and tie and they're sweating bullets, man, But Le Corte have been giving us gigs solidly since, I want to say, mid-August. And I've been there every Friday, and they pay. Oh, and then the gig that I had Thursday when I was coming back, watching Jim Coombs' live chat. I think that's when you got the board. I made a comment. It was kind of a rough gig. It wasn't that the gig was rough. It was just the attendance. Hardly anybody there. And here's the deal with what goes on down here. You have what's called the on season and then the off season. The on season is when all the snowbirds come, down here, and it's usually like October through after Easter, because it's nice down here. It's not real hot. It's not like up north, freezing cold. So they come down here, and then after that they go up, and it starts to slow. When it slows down, they call it the off season. But there's more and more people relocating down here, so it still is starting to maintain a sort of busy season. So if no one comes out to get to a gig, I look at it as a paid practice. Yeah. And you know what? How I approach it, and I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do. I'll never do that because you guys got just as much experience as I do, and maybe they're into different formats. And even though I might have been playing longer than some of you guys, it doesn't mean that your experience is inferior to mine. No. You guys' experience does matter because it's all like a different point of view, because everything works differently for everybody. So, how I look at like a paid practice is that I'll still try to get in that moment, that mindset, because let's say there's one person sitting there and they're buying the drinks and whatever, and they're enjoying themselves. That's not the time that I would use to say, damn, I made a mistake, oh crap, you know, and then start, you know, looking at it like it's an actual practice spot. I wouldn't do something like that. I've heard stories where people have played to maybe 1 or 2 people, and then they start looking out the window like that person's not even there. And who knows, that person might be the son of an owner or daughter of an owner, or might own a place. Or they might hire you for a high-end a corporate gig. And I'm going to touch a little bit on the corporate gigs in just a moment, because everything is shifting out there. But if they see a person with a sour look on their face, in their mind, they're going to be thinking, well, they don't look like they're having fun, so how am I supposed to have fun watching them? And then if I want to book them, you know, what's my audience going to look like, you know? It's kind of hard to predict what people are thinking. You can't, you know? You can only just do the best you can. And then hopefully that your energy is conveyed onto those people, and then they get what you're doing. They're like, hey, I like this. Even if they don't like the style of music, if they see that you're having fun, they might say, hey, wow, this is kind of cool. You know, I might not like this kind of music so much, but I got some customers that come in and they're kind of requesting this, so why don't I kind of open up the doors? Holding the doors open for people, just like that saying. A great Canadian philosopher, Ben Coombs. And I mean that, you know, lighthearted, you know. But it is. It's important, you know, to do that for people. Now, let me kind of touch on the corporate gig scenes. If you see some of my other videos on my other channel, you might see that I'm dressed up, or even on this channel. I'm dressed up, I'm playing soft music, I'm kind of like background music, I'm kind of like just like blending in. All those gigs is not always like that. There are times I'll bring my electric guitar out. I'm starting to see more and more of a shift, especially down here, where it's more acceptable, because this is not a new thing anymore. In the 1950s, this is what blew down the doors of big band era. You know, now rap is trying to blow this down, and everything's going to always be going like this, a roller coaster. Every style of music. You watch and see. I know rap and hip-hop is riding high right now, but just like the grunge and alternative movement, now they saw a little bit of a low, and they're going to always have their audience, you know. That's the same thing's going to happen with the rap and hip-hop. Something else is going to come in. I will say this. I mean, I love metal. I absolutely love it. But I also love the jazz fusion and the classical style, flamenco style guitar, and the blues rock and that. Reconnect. Sorry guys, something happened. I think Pluto just passed by Mars or Venus or something. What I was just say about with the grunge and alternative movement, you know, I might not be a fan of certain styles of music, but I'm going to tell you what, I do respect them. I respect them because they came out and they did their own thing, and at least you still seeing the guitar, right? Maybe it wasn't as big back in the 80s, you know, when we were able to blow off pyrotechs, you know, until that accident happened in Rhode Island, and that kind of shot that down. Now, if you want to do pyrotechs, you got to have a fire marshal, you got to get the permits, you got to make sure it's all safety, and what you're looking at is money being spent, you know. So that's why a lot of bands don't do that, because of the cost and then the insurance, you know. But my point is that the alternative had its moment, and maybe that's going to come back around as well. And maybe now we'll probably be able to appreciate more, because what we've seen recently is the guitar and rock and music, rock and hard rock and metal music and everything. It was going like this. It started to flatline, and all of a sudden it went like that. So, and that's why sometimes there's not that many gigs, so you try to get as many gigs as you can, you know. And although you have to do some covers, you could throw some originals in there. But getting back to the corporate gigs, at least with the corporate gigs, you could definitely, if you've been writing your own music, you could definitely get them in there. Because here's the thing, a lot of times it's background music. They'll ask you, you know, not to play so loud, unless the criteria is, we want you to put on a show because it's going to be breaking our schedule, and we want you guys to do what you do. And I've had situations like that too. So it's not always boring guitar well, for some people. And that's okay. You don't have to like everything I'm doing, you know. I don't take it personal. It's just something that I love to do. And I hope it can inspire people, just like when I watch you guys' videos, it inspires me. And you know, I don't care if you're recording out of an Emerson double cassette boombox. How many people remember those? You bring them to band practice, set it down. You kind of set it as far away because you know the sound is as good as band. You could hear a lot of psh, 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 with the cymbals, and you might hear a lot of fuzzy stuff with the guitars. You know, hope that wasn't too loud, because the last thing I need is people with wearing headphones on, and all of a sudden it gets all distorted and crackly. And then we had the double cassette, so then we'd make copies. You know, and that was our recording studio. That was our live recording studio, because we didn't have any money. You know? But you know, getting back with gigging is that there is opportunities out there. You just have to be creative. I'm starting to do this, and I've been doing this for a while, but I'm starting to really think serious about categorizing this as either classical metal or modern classical, because here's the reality. In certain circles, when you get these gigs, if someone's going to pay you a couple $100, depending where you're at, I mean, you can make up to $1,000 in some of these gigs easily. Just one person with a looping pedal, you know. Depends on their budget. But if I advertise it as metal, then right away they go like this. But if I advertise it as modern classical, oh, that's elegant, that's nice. So what I started to do is taking a lot of the rock songs, which a lot of people have been doing out there, so I'm not the only one. Did my early recording on a 2... Oh, yeah, I think Ben Coombs did. My early recording tracks really bounced to a 2-track. Yeah. There were little tricks we had to do with the Tascams and the Fostex when we do bouncing tracks. If you had 4 tracks, you had to leave that 4th track open, so you really have 3 tracks. And I think it was something to the fact that I read in one of these magazines that keep the vocals on the inside tracks, because if they're on the outside track, meaning track 1 or track 4, it could somehow fall off the tape or something. I don't know. But anyways, getting back to what I was saying is that, so I try to make things elegant. So I would play Iron Maiden's A Trooper, like flamenco guitar style. I've done Black Sabbath's Paranoid. Literally, I played it at a senior center, and the senior center, it was like a big event they had, and they brought on all these chefs in, and they would have spotlight the chefs and the staff, and like a big thank you to the staff and everything. And then the seniors are there, and they're literally in wheelchairs. I'm talking people from the 80s into their 90s, you know, and the parents come in, and the kids come in, I mean, and they're all watching me play, and they're eating, and I'm playing Black Sabbath's Paranoid, but I'm playing it very, very elegantly. Only the cook knew what I was playing. He was like, dude, that's awesome. And there's you know, the people in their wheelchairs, they're clapping. How nice that sounds. That's so much better than that noisy rock and roll music, and they have no clue I'm playing heavy metal just on an acoustic guitar. So there's ways you could get around things that, you know, you can make things work in your benefit. You know, that's how that works. Now, is it selling out? No, it's just being creative. And if a person doesn't want to do that, then absolutely don't. Always stick to your guns. You know, don't feel like you got to bend one way or bend the other way, and then have your friends telling you, oh, dude, you're selling out. Or people like myself who have a versatile style. You know, my advice, it's good to learn different styles, but it's better to learn styles that kind of interest you. You know, if you do not like Chinese rap music with a Spanish accent, or then don't learn it. You know, I mean, that's whatever it is that you could tolerate. Go ahead and give that a shot. And if it doesn't work out for you, then don't worry about it. You know, go back and do what really appeals to you. You know, that's always the best thing. Because here's the reality: you have to enjoy what you're doing. Because if you don't, people are going to pick up on it, and then they're not going to, you know, you're going to be boring to them, or you're not real to them. You know, so That's how that works. I'll do stuff at farmers markets, and guys, if you could get in on the farmers market gigs with your band, you know, go ahead and give that a shot, because you have no idea how many people will be walking through those markets. See, here's the deal. It isn't just the music stores or the music events or this events. It's these events that don't have music that people will go and buy stuff that they need. They're going to be there, you know. And you'd be surprised. You're going to get a mixed crowd. You get some people that say, I can't stand that. Then you get someone right behind them, dude, that rocked, you know. So for the people that don't like what you're doing, and maybe they want to say that's noise in that, just smile and say, okay, you know, have a good day. Don't insult anybody. Oh, it looks like Sinner's in the house. What's up, Sinner? Yeah. I watch you guys' podcasts. I was watching a little bit last night. I didn't watch all of it. I'm gonna watch the reruns. Yeah, I tried country music and it didn't work. I just disappeared. Let me see if I can pull that back up. Sorry, guys. Oh, crap. I'll have to check it out. The thing. Yeah. Like one of my vocalists, Michael G. We have a group called RUI, which stands for Rocking Under the Influence. And I was never really into country. Now I consider it Southern rock. And he said, well, you know, he wouldn't mind trying it. Because this last band, no one wanted to do it. And I figured, okay, well, why not, you know? And now, because I'm trying it with him, he makes it actually fun for me. And it gives me a different perspective on my soloing techniques and my approach to the guitar. And because he's doing these songs so well, when I hear the original, I like the way he sings them better than when I hear the original. I mean, you know? And it kind of gives me that option and that break from me being same old, and gives me a little bit of an open door to play things that's going to fit more of the song, where I don't have to feel like I got to be on fire all the time. Although I like to burn, you know. I like to do the speed bursts and, you know, throw the guitar around. But I only like to do it in a song that requires it. Something that's a little bit bluesy or a little bit mellow or like a ballad. They don't really get into that. Oh yeah, Bruce, what's happening, man? Don't worry about it, Bruce. Hey, don't worry about it all. Yeah, I think you were also telling me, Bruce, that you live up in Illinois. I think R2, R3. Guys, I apologize if I forget things, you know. But yeah, you guys who have asked me about the gigs down here in Florida compared to up in Chicago, there is a lot. And there's a lot of growth that's going on down here in Southwest Florida. Where we live at, again, if you look at the map, we're Fort Myers, but we're North Fort Myers, and then Cape Coral is west of us. So this whole area of Cape Coral and Fort Myers is experiencing a growth. And I mean, apartment buildings are being, you know, built all over the place. Housing is being built. Areas where they're expanding on, like shopping centers. And we got Guitar Center down here. We have a music store called Educators Music. And then down the road we have another store that I forgot the name, and I got to get the guys' cards. And they're like the mom and pop shops, but they got great stuff. What's cool with Educators Music, he's got the wall knocked down. He's got a like a coffee house with a stage, and he's got the lesson room, and he's got the gear, you know, where you could buy all the products and that. Brilliant. The guy's brilliant, because you could buy the gear, get something to eat and drink at the coffee shop. Literally, it's a doorway. They'll have the guitars hanging up. There's a doorway, and next thing you know, you're in the coffee shop. And he mentioned something about me doing like an open mic, open bluesy thing. I didn't get time to get back with him. I think I'm gonna try something where it may be on a Monday, but where we're done early. Because I get up at 3:30 in the morning. I drive for the school district. I drive and I haul livestock. So if Joe Wentz sees this video, I think he's a truck driver. Great guy. If you ask me, Dave, if you drive, what are you hauling? Livestock. It's a school bus, man. It's the greatest gig a musician could ever have, because the hours are flexible. And think about it. You have to go through a background check. I never drank in my life. I'll never get a DUI. Got no problems with that. Not on any dope. Don't have to worry about that. Not a pedophile. So when I teach students of all ages, my background is clean, 100% clean. And that's why I don't like using profanity too much, because Not that I'm trying to be Leave It to Beaver, you know. Of course, I get mad. I swore, and of course that. Especially when I was doing construction, you know. I used to be very hot-headed. I gotta watch myself. I'm not in my 20s, 30s, and 40s anymore, man. I gotta really watch that, you know. But I don't feel like I've got to use profanity to draw attention, and that's just me. You know, people do what they want. I'm not. This is not to insult anybody. But when I have young kids that maybe want to take lessons with me, you know, I want to make sure that the environment they get in is going to be clean for them. You know, so the trustworthy is important. But that's the advantage of driving the school bus. Do it in the morning. I got the afternoons off. I get prepared for my gigs. It becomes a long day, though. Getting up at 3:30 in the morning, then last night I was done at 10 o'clock. By the time I got home, it was like... Well, I stayed and I talked with the owner a little bit. I get home? Yeah, let's see. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, that's fine. No, that's fine, guys. You know, I would never say don't watch this person or don't watch that person. No, I always going to refer all you guys to everybody out there. They have to be responsible in what they view. And they got to understand that everyone might drop an F-bomb here and there because it's called real life. This is how real life really is, you know. And if a person is up front and they say, listen guys, it's not really a kid-friendly show, so you are really responsible for what you have your kids watch. We're not the parent, you guys are. Hey, 100%, you're 100% right. Everyone's got to take responsibility for what they do. Because the last thing you need is people start saying, I saw Dave Byron's live chat and someone said this and I'm not going to follow that. Well then, no one's sitting swearing right now. Or if they tell you that it's not a kid-friendly show, so just be aware. And if you continue to watch and let the kids watch, then don't bash those people. You're the one at fault. You're letting your kids do this. You know. So, okay. So, and again, speaking of why I do this, gigs and unsigned guitarists. Okay, to me, the unsigned guitarist, I'm not talking about the person that, you know, he's got the pen in his hand and the contract's right there and he hasn't signed yet. And then there's the sponsors here. And then there's that sponsor there. And they're doing these videos and they got, 6,000 cameras doing post-production, which I'm not knocking that, but I'm talking about the person that sometimes they can't even get the gig at the local bar. What about those people? You mean they matter? All you guys matter out there. And I will always be a fan of yours, and I'm not trying to, smooze up to anybody or being a brown nose. I'm just telling it like it is, because that's how it is. Every time you go in the store and you buy one of these, it's going to matter. It's going to matter to, let's see, if you buy Ibanez, it's going to matter to Ibanez. BC Rich, it's going to matter to BC Rich. Gibson and everyone else, it's going to matter. So I think, in my personal opinion, the unsigned guitarists, I kind of compare them to like baseball, the minor leagues and the major leagues. And I'm not saying the major leagues don't work hard. When you got all that money thrown at you, you're going to work that much harder because nothing is for free, These people that invest in you, and if they're investing, millions of dollars in you, they got to see a return on that investment. So you better get out there. But with the minor leagues, they're more hungrier, they got to try harder, and it's kind of like that comparison with the unsigned guitarists. They're hungrier, they try hard, they've got such aspirations, so when they play something, you could actually hear the inspiration in their playing. And me personally, I could care less if a person uses Pro Tools or if they're just recording from their phone. I look more at the talent and what I hear. I don't look at the quality. I'm not saying the quality doesn't matter now, guys. But what I'm saying is I'm not going to judge a person because they don't have enough money to go in a fancy studio or buy all this gear. But yet when I hear them play, they play with such passion. They're so hungry for it. Whether they're shredding or not shredding, you could just see it. Those are the people that I like watching. Those are the people I give a lot of credit to. Because you actually are inspiring. You know, after a while you do a couple of gigs, you get burnt out and you get tired. We're only human, you know. But the ones who are really hungry for it, you guys rock, man. You guys totally rock. So, and speaking of gear, because I also want to touch bases on gear. It is great. One of the... See, they come on. The chats come on, they disappear. They come on, disappear. You know, I think there's a way to get them back on. Let's see if I can, guys. Because I want to give shout-outs to people. Oh, yeah. Okay. Show live chat message. Yes. Okay. Okay, it's great. One of the good Gibsons. I have to set up pickups to put on. Okay, yeah. I know everyone's been talking about Gibson. And how many people remember the Gibson Victory Series guitars? They were shaped like a Stratocaster. They were their own version of Strats. You know, since Gibson might still have the template for that, maybe they should resurrect that, but do a metal version of it. Here's the thing with Gibson. I saw in one of the chats, I think it was when I was watching the live chat with the Tone King, and someone had mentioned about, does Gibson make amplifiers? Well, they do. Or at least they did, because one of my guitar students has an old Gibson tube amp. But I think Gibson also was making the Lab Series amplifiers back in late 70s and early 80s. Because I had a Lab Series L5 212 combo, and they were all solid state, and they were workhorses. They sounded great. But I think what's going on with Gibson is after they get themselves out of this financial hole, before they start getting back into making all this other stuff, you know, make sure that the money's there where they could hire the techs and designers for a new set of guitars. Oh, no problem, Ben. No problem at all, my friend. You guys got to take care of business first. Always take care of family and business comes first, man. You know. So, anyways, with Gibson is I know they would have to probably get CNC machines to redesign certain bodies, but they have to do this after their financial situation is all taken care of. So they have to concentrate on that first. So just because they filed Chapter 11 and they're going to restructure, this might take a little time because they need to do this in a very strategic way so that all their finances are in control. Because see, when the finances get out of control again, then it's like it's going to stop production, it's going to stop something here or there. But what I think would be a good idea, and see if you guys like this idea. When Gibson gets out of their hole and they get very heavily back into focusing on the guitars, keep the line of their tradition, you know, the Les Paul, the SG, Flying V, Explorer, and that. But maybe it'd be an idea for Gibson to come out with a modern version and have the Gibson name on there. Don't put Epiphone. Have the Gibson name on there, and do it where it's priced where people could afford it. Don't overprice, because that's one of the things that could have knocked people out. Because and try to keep it American made too, you know. So that's a little strategy to have to work on. But do what Ibanez did. Ibanez. A lot of people, I don't think I see too much talk about this. When Ibanez was making copy guitars in the 70s, it was around 1977, 1978, they totally broke off on their own. And it was either 1979 or 1980, I bought a used Ibanez Artist guitar. It was called the 350 model. With the block inlays, the tri-sound switches, and the Super 88 pickups. Decked out guitar, man. Killer guitar. I bought it used for $350 at Chicago Music Company, and kept that guitar for like 6 years and traded in for the Ibanez X Series Destroyer because I wanted to mess with the whammy bar. And honestly, I think part of the craftsmanship at that time was going downhill, because I really do believe now Ibanez is making great stuff. So I'm not trying to knock them, but when you compare the woods and the materials and the craftsmen, their best period, I think, was from 77, 78 through like, maybe 1981, 1982. In that time frame, man, their guitars were flawless. They were absolutely flawless. And I remember also having a 78 Ibanez catalog where it showed the musician series, which is kind of like how the Paul Reed Smith, in a way, is like. It's an offset Strat guitar, but it had the neck through body, and they had two versions of it, a flat top and they had an arch top. And then the Ibanez also had the Iceman, and then they took the Paul Stanley model out of the Iceman series and created that. And they had one that Bob Weir played for a short time when he was with the Grateful Dead. It was kind of like an SG blonde finish with the floral inputs, and then, of course, then Ibanez came out with their decked out V's and their Destroyer guitars. So here's what I'm getting at. With Gibson, what happened with Gibson, all these manufacturers started looking at designs, and they took those designs, they got inspired by them, and they went and they did their own thing. And you got the Jackson Kelly, which is a decked out Explorer. You have the Ibanez Destroyer, a decked out Explorer. ESP LTD guitars with their Eclipse series is a decked out Les Paul. Paul Reed Smith, and I'm not knocking Paul Reed Smith or any of these guys, I'm thinking they're smart because they took an idea and they said, hey, I like that design, but I like what I could do with this design. I like this, doing it this way better. And they ran wild with it. And it worked for them. As a matter of fact, like Schecter. Schecter's got some killer designs, but I remember back in the 70s in the Guitar Player magazine, Schecter was selling guitar parts. So what all these guitar makers, what they did, this is what I think what Gibson needs to do when they get that opportunity. Because I know they might have to get the CNC machines, and you're talking about some seriously expensive machines. From what I remember buying, I never bought a CNC machine, but when my wife had her custom oak stair company, my wife, her business partner, and I went down to Atlanta, Georgia, to the wood shop trade show, and some of these CNC machines that turn the posts for your staircases and the spindles, which they're really called balusters, some of these machines are going for $600,000. So I know Gibson would probably have to either get a new CNC machine or they get a CAD machine or whatever they need to do. But after they get that done, it wouldn't be a bad idea for them to redesign some of their guitars and then call it just a modern version and keep the Gibson logo on there and start gearing it to the metal players, the shred players, and that. And that might just turn the company around. It's just a thought. It might not work. Just a thought. So it's kind of too bad what's happening out there. But let's see. I also wanted to give out a shout out for I don't know if anyone saw Joe Wentz's live stream he had on yesterday or the day before yesterday. I guess for his birthday. I don't know if they were in Vegas or not. Sorry about that, Joe. I'm getting things screwed up here. But yeah, he said some of the fact that him and his wife were at the casino and they both won like $500 each. And a few months back, he was looking at the Ibanez Gem Junior, and they're like $500. He's like, oh, I don't want to spend any money on that. He'd like to buy it, but give you a lot of credit, Joe. You didn't, went on the sneak and buy the guitar and hid it underneath the couch. I had a friend of mine did that. He got in trouble for that one. But it's interesting. So he wins $500. Probably discuss with the missus. Always discuss with your spouse. You get married, you're in it together, right? So your spouse, your wife's opinion matters, my friends. Like they say, and I am 100% for this. Happy wife, happy life. Do everything together as much as possible. So he probably said to his wife, and she said, yeah, it's your money, go out and buy it. And boom, I think he maybe got the Gem Junior. So Yeah, good for you, man. And if anyone doesn't know the Joe Wentz Project, now probably everyone that's logged on right now, you know who Joe Wentz is. So when this video goes on YouTube on what I call reruns, sitcom reruns, my friends, there's going to be people watching this. So they're going to say, oh, he's mentioned a guy named Joe Wentz, the Joe Wentz Project. You know, go ahead and check out his channel, man. Subscribe to him. Subscribe to R2R3. Subscribe to Jim Guitry. Subscribe to our metal stage. Subscribe to Bruce. Everyone that you see here, you know, go ahead and hit a subscribe to him. See, what I gotta do is I gotta write on pencil and paper everyone's names and that, so I could have, like, if anyone's from Chicago, back in the day we had a guy named Ray Rayner. He wore a jumpsuit and he had all these little tags on him so he doesn't forget anything. That's what I might have to do, so I don't forget anything. But the reason why I'm saying this is because I want to see all you guys get as much attention as possible, because you deserve it. You totally deserve it. I'm pretty sure I am sub to everyone. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Well, I'm sure you guys are too. But I'm sure, like you know, these videos, I think these live chats, they stay on for a while, and then people start getting on, and that's how you get, like, new subscribers and that. So I don't mind saying subscribe to everybody's channel out there. And of course, you know, I like you subscribe to my channel as well, and hit the like button and put comments up there. I really, yeah, don't forget, yeah, Bozo the Clown. Who could forget Bozo the Clown? Bozo the Clown with Mr. Ned, Ringmaster Mr. Ned, and the original Bozo. Why do I forget the guy's name? Bozo and Cookie. That's an old show, and it lasted, I think, through the 90s. WGN Channel 9. And yeah, we, you know, for those of us who remember, man, we had, back in Chicago, our channels was 2, which is always snowy, and we had the rabbit ears antennas, and to try to, you know, get them to tune in. 2, 7, 5, 9, 11, and then 32. Then later on, channel 44, we used to watch the old Spider-Man cartoons with his boss, J. Jonah Jameson. Had that little military buzz cut and a little cigar sticking out of his mouth. He's banging on the desk, Parker, where are you? You know? See, that's when you could say things and no one got offended, you know? Speed Racer and all that. So it's a much different time. Much different time. And so it's a different time we had back in the gigging world, back in the 80s. And of course in the 70s, it was even more. But I graduated high school in 1981, so really, I mean, I started playing 1975, even though it was a school assembly, because I started playing in 1974, and we would literally have to learn chords like this. Let's see if I got this, you know. On a nylon string guitar, of course. On a video I had mentioned, or one of the chats I mentioned, the first song I learned to play was Stairway to Heaven. And it was the easy part. Stairway to Heaven. Yeah, 86 for me, yep. But we're still dating ourselves, you know? I'm not that much older than you guys, and there's guys that's watching, like, I think Showman Blues. He's maybe got about 15 years on me. But he's got that experience. That's what I see. Experience, you know? But anyways, so this is how I learned Stairway to Heaven, because I had, for assembly, I had to learn a song that had A minor, and then C major. And then we had to do a descending single note down. So, I didn't own the guitar. I would take it home on Thursday, have it over the weekend, and then bring it back on Monday. So, I'm over there, you know, fiddling around with it, and I would work with it that way because I had to. That was part of the song I had to play. But I would also work with it in reverse. And back and forth. And I'm like, hey, why does that sound familiar? My friend Greg. Yeah, that sounds like the song my brother Timmy plays. You know, because we live in the city and we're right next to each other. Yeah, 90 for Bruce. Yeah. So this is how I learned how to play Stairway to Heaven. My friend's older brother. You know, in Chicago we had gangways and the houses were right next to each other. So he's playing the stereo, I could hear. So I would hear the song, but the most dominating part of that song, Stairway to Heaven, is this. But that's the most dominating part. So because I had to practice that, A minor, C, and back down, I would just go back and forth. And literally that's how I started to learn how to play Stairway to Heaven. And then later on, as I figured out the bar chords, now you know why you play a bar chord, right? You play them in the bars. So when I learned that this is A minor as well, and then a half a bar is this, and then as I got my fingers developed and would start do the descending thing. So really what's happening is you have A going down to A flat, down to G, down to G flat, down to F. And then when I got even more developed, and that's, you know, everything started to evolve from there, you know. Of course, that song got played to death, and of course, I get a lot of requests for playing it. So at every show I'm doing, I'm playing that song. You know, I never get tired of it. It's a cool song. It's a great song. But you know, the thing is that when you get these gigs, sometimes you have to play the game. You have to play the cover game, and I'm sure a lot of you guys out there had people with the requests, as if we remember every song that's ever been written. Maybe some people can't. I know I can't, you know. So I was thinking in my mind, how do I combat, how do I address a situation where I got people constantly asking me for a request? One of them was, I thought, okay, I'll honor your request, but for 1 hour you cannot drink. And I thought, oh, wait a minute, I better not say that, because these places, you know, they rely on sales of their drinks. So I thought, okay. So I thought a way of saying, okay, I'll try to play the song if I can remember it for you, but so long as you accept how it comes out. You know, I'll try to play as best as I can what I can remember, you know. Because a lot of people, they see that I could do all the stuff and they think I could do everything. I can't. I mean, if I sit home and I practice and work on it, of course, you know. But, you know, on the spot, sometimes I can't. Sometimes things hit me in the head and boom, it just comes out. Because I like to improvise a lot. You know, that's my strong point, being able to improvise. So, you know, I try to handle it like that. And I'm sure you guys get all the requests. And some of you guys, you know, you write it down and then you try to get the song down from next week or the next show or whatever you can. You know, and that's smart. That's a smart thing to do. So, but you do have to play the game out there. And to do your originals, somehow if we could see the scene kind of turn back again, where it's like people love to come out and they like to watch bands play again. And maybe how you hit your original material out there is play something that influences you. And I know this could almost sound like you're ripping a person off, but everyone is influenced by something and somebody. So it's not really a bad thing to have an original that is almost mimicked after a song that's kind of popular. And I know this is kind of a fine line here, but then at least that person is going to say, wow, that song, why does it sound familiar? It sounds like this, but it's not that song, but hey, I kind of like it. And if you're not going to get in trouble, then if you could go ahead and record it and, you know, send it to get it published and copywritten, and if everyone says, oh, okay, we're not going to sue you, then, you know, you're kind of in business. Because there's only 7 notes and 5 variations on those 7 notes. Let's see. Stephen Boss A seems to remember a piece of... Oh. I got to subscribe to that guy's channel, Stephen Boston. He's got some good insight. You know, I try to subscribe to as much as possible, but I try to watch, you know, because sometimes I cannot watch everyone's when they're on live streaming because, you know, I'm gigging or I've got to rehearse or something. I kind of feel bad. So that's why I kind of watch some of the reruns. That's why I watch more YouTube than TV. And I'm starting to watch more of you guys than concerts of Yngwie, concerts of Steve Vai. And I like Steve Vai. I like Yngwie or in concerts of Maiden. I like all that. But I've seen all that. I like watching you guys because really, you guys are the next generation. And some of you have been playing longer than those people have been signed. That's reality. You know? So, that's why I like watching Joe Wentz. He sits there, he made a comment, he wished he was out there gigging. But I'll tell you what, Joe, you're very entertaining. I love watching you and stuff. And, yeah, I prefer hanging with friends YouTube too. Yeah, I do too. It is such a killer platform. Such a killer platform. You know, and now we can see what everyone's doing around the world. And there's another person I subscribe to, Mary Spender. I kind of like what she was showing in one of her videos when she was doing her little European tour over in England and staying at the hotels. Yeah, that is how it really is. But there are times when you cannot stay at a hotel. Meaning, whether you could afford it or you don't want to pay the price, you might be in a situation like Deb and I have been in these situations where we had a show in Joliet, Illinois on a Thursday, a show Naperville, Illinois. Yeah, I sub to Mary's channel too. I think she's a great guitarist in her own right. She's a great singer, and she does some really cool insight. I really like that. She's got what they call her Tuesday Talks. Maybe I'll have a wacky Wednesday. I don't know. Just, you know. But yeah, I've been in a situation where we had to do Crest Hill, Joliet on Thursday, Naperville on Friday. Saturday we had to go up to Minnesota, do a gig up there. I had a chance to meet Ringo Starr. I had to forfeit it because we had to tear down the gear and hurry up and drive down to Indiana and do a wedding gig down there because everything was contracted. We were already paid. The contract was signed. Boom, we have to go. And literally we were sleeping in the rust area, the truck stops, and taking a shower inside the truck stop, which a lot of those showers are clean. And a lot of these truck stops have really good healthy food. And I'm going to tell you why, if you don't know. Some of you guys know this. Your over-the-road truckers cannot afford to be unhealthy. Hey, R2, R3, what's happening, man? Good seeing you, bro. A lot of the truck drivers cannot drive unhealthy. There was an incident that happened up, I think, in Wisconsin. And I forget the governor's name now. Crap. Governor of Illinois at the time. Truck ran into a van and killed everybody in the van. Lawsuits are flying out the windows, so that's why everything is so strict with CDL license. So if it's strict with CDL license, then the truck stops and say, hey, we cannot feed our truck drivers food that's going to give them a heart attack on the road. So everything started to got shot up. The ante got shot up as far as healthy food. I know this place right here. What's it? I-80. Let me get my coffee mug. I don't know if you can see this. See, I gotta update my cups here. Iowa I-80, world's largest truck stop. Damn, I'm gonna take a swig. It's almost cold. See, I like it warm. I like my tea hot and my coffee hot. Coffee cappuccino hot. But anyways, so they have to up the ante and get everyone healthy. So the over there at Iowa 80, maybe you get your clothes washed. If you got a dentist appointment, you got the dentist appointment. Hey, what's happening, man? See, everyone's out there. See, this is so cool. Everyone is friending everybody. Everyone's giving up the high fives to everybody. That's awesome. But yeah, I gotta update my cups when I can. Like buy a Joe Wentz cup or a Metal Stage cup. I gotta get Ben Coombs, you know, shirts and all that. You know, hey, here's the new thing that's going on out there. So, I know sometimes I kind of ramble on. Sometimes I'm an unscripted person, you know. I'm not better than anybody. I just have a lot of experience, and sometimes I get a little overexcited. And as I'm thinking, everything comes to me at once. You know, boom, here it is. I gotta kind of, you know, maybe write things down. So I have a little bit of a subject. Stay on track, because I don't want to get off track with promoting you guys, with saying about the gigs that's really happening out there. And again, the reason why I do everything from this phone, everything, no post-production, not right now at least, because I want people to see this is how it really is, you know. And I will start to spotlight some of the gear I use that works for me at the gigs. And you're more than welcome to put your comments. If a person doesn't like, if they think a piece of gear sucks, go ahead. It's not going to offend me. You know, we want people to be as honest and as real as possible, because you see, when people start buying stuff, what I say works, it works for me. When you buy it, it might not work for you, and when you think, damn, Dave, that sounded like crap, you know? You've got to try it out for yourself. But I like showing what it sounds like in the real digging world. Yeah, so yeah, and absolutely, guys, you know, promote yourself. If you guys are doing a live chat, and if you guys want to say, hey, R2R3, I'm going to be on this time, or Ben Coombs, I'm going to be here. Go ahead and do it, because this is all about networking with everybody. And kind of rocking out too. I'm gonna have to do something with these pickups. I'm doing a hangout tomorrow night. Let's see, tomorrow night. I'll see if I could do that hangout with you guys. I know my wife and I, finally we could get some our time. You know, we're so busy running around. My wife, she works as an HR department for a major food chain, and she's very good at it. And she still does the bookings. That sounds, yeah, hey, thanks, man. I feel a little rusty. I feel a little bit tired, you know, and I got the gig tonight. Hey, thanks, guys. Bruce, yeah, thank you, man. But yeah, it's you know, it gets tough. You gotta go. Especially when we got down here in Florida, because the reality is, you know, it's not like a big city. The area we're at, there's not that many roads. And I have people say, well, why don't they build extra roads? Well, sometimes they can't, because there's all these little canals, you know, and so it makes it a little bit impossible. So to get from one point to another point, hey, thanks, Jim. Oh, yeah, thanks. Oh, yeah, you know what? You said that you sold your, yeah, I just sold your Ibanez. I thought you, Ben, I thought you said that, I thought you said you had an ES, like 125 series or something like that. I can't, I'll have to watch the rerun. Yeah, Ibanez makes great guitars, man. I will always be a huge Ibanez fan, always, because, oh yeah, EX350, yeah, an EX350. You know, okay, so I found this in a dumpster, and you know, I like it's got the smooth neck to joint heel. This back plate is an old cedar, you know, dust broom thing. I cut it out and put the back plate on. I mean, I still miss my 1978 Artist Series guitar. That thing was just great. But here's the deal: when you're playing rock and metal and you know, going nuts, you don't want to destroy. You don't want to destroy a good guitar. What I should do is, actually, I've got here. I'm going to grab a little card here. I want to show you guys something here. Watch, I won't be able to find it because I'm looking for it. Okay. So, sorry about that, guys. So this was one of the things we were putting together called Guitar Heroes, and I don't know if you could see that. So the Ibanez is on the left, the Gibson Les Paul, and of course that's me with the BC Ridge. That Sunburst Strat is a guitar called Laguna. Guitar Center launched those series of guitars in like the early, I think the mid 2000s, and of course that white Strat is a Mexican-made Strat. I also have a guitar from a company called Camelot, which I'll kind of show that, not today, because I don't want to go out of time here, because I do have to get ready for a gig tonight. But yeah, and then I got a lot of acoustic guitars as well, you know. But the purpose of that picture and Guitar Heroes, we started doing these gigs and it was a one-man band thing, where it's the spotlighting, celebrating the guitar heroes of the day. Okay. Oh, thanks, Ben. Yeah, thank you, man. It's gonna be interesting because all right. Ben said, "Good luck on your gig tonight." It's gonna be at AmVets 81, and AmVets is for the veterans. And boy, these people, man, they do not want to get old. They want to have a good time. They want to have a good time. So it'll be interesting. I'll see if I can do some video recording of it and then put it up on YouTube. Yeah, it's wild, man. I tell you what, the seniors don't want to get old. They do not want to get old. So when I do some of the guitar heroes, and with RUI, I incorporate that. You might have seen some of the stuff. You notice I don't sing. I try to do the vocal melody on the guitar, and yeah, I do the backing tracks. And do I miss playing with a full band? Yeah, that's nothing's ever going to replace a full band, and it's not meant to replace a full band. But what's happening out there? People only have so much money to pay. That's what's happening out there. It's tough, and some of the stages have been shrinking. So you can't even. A drummer can't even get his full drum set on some of these stages. So, you have to be creative. So, my way of doing backing tracks, I'll either record my own off of my CDs or my own versions of them using my looping pedal. And I have the S-Drum, Digitech S-Drum, and the Trio Plus. And I also have a couple of Roland Boss drum machines. The best Roland Boss drum machine to get is the DR880. It is awesome. But you know what? Joe Winch uses that Beat Buddy. That's a badass pedal. Yeah, most places have small stages and the drums got to cram in there. Yeah. Alright guys, I think was it later at our... I don't know if someone's taking off or not. No problem. Guys always got to take care of business. But yeah, stages are shrinking, man. They're all shrinking. And that's the reality out there. So it's just finding ways to be creative. So if a person has to use backing tracks, go ahead. Because here's the reality. Here's the reality of the audience. You get some that do care, and I love those people. But you get the ones that the big concern is not the gear you're using, not the EL84 or 6L6 tube in your amp, and I'm not knocking it. Their concern is, holy crap, my drink is half. It's not half full, it's half empty. I better get another drink. That's the reality. That's what's going on out there. And then, of course, if you could rock out and have a good time, they're having a good time, that's all that matters, I will start spotlighting on the next, on the next live stream, some of the gear that I'm using. I'm only going to take it so far, though, because right now I have a guy that's paying me how to use some of this stuff, and until that elapses, when he's satisfied and I don't have to show him anymore, then later on I'll start showing how I use this gear. But right now he's paying me, and I think it's I don't think it's fair for me to charge somebody money, even though it's my time and I go to his place, charge him money, then I turn around and put everything up for free on YouTube. I just I don't think that's cool, because it's kind of disrespecting him, and he's paying me. So, but you'll get the idea of what I'm doing with some of this stuff. And what I like about the Digitech Jam Man stereo pedal, the big blue one with the 4 buttons, everything's hands-free. There's ways you could chop things in there, which again will be at a later time. I'll show how that works next. So, all right, guys. Again, I hope my babbling on wasn't too long. And again, I'm going to start writing things down like PowerPoints to really talk about, so that when people get on, they're like, hey, this guy's talking about high school and that. He's not talking about gigs and that. No, I want to really focus on the gigs from my experience. And again, this is not to say that I'm better than anybody or it's me. I can only say this because if I'm not out there gigging, how can I talk about it? Where's my credibility? So it's just experiences that I personally go through that it might help you, or you might have something you say, no, hey Dave, try this. This might work, and okay, and find out it does work. It's just another point of view of what's happening out there. And again, to just like say, push all you guys out there, you know, to say, hey, check out these guys' channels. I'm watching you guys' channels, you know. I like what you guys are doing. You know, when I watch Jim Dietrich, he's there jamming with his son and that. And his rhythm section is so tight, it's like, dude, you want to be there. Just hook up and play, man, you know. I could see it, you know, you're at the big arenas already, you know what I mean? I have fun watching it. Have a great day, guys. Yeah, listen, R2, R3, have a great day. Ben Coombs, I like your saying, man, always hold doors open for people, man, because that is so true. JJ's House of Jams, peace. You guys have a good one. I'll see if I can do something on Wednesday, but if I do, I'll let people know. I will do another live stream next Saturday at the same time, although I might be in the car driving to this wedding gig, so I might have to just keep it a little short. But I really appreciate you guys logging on. You guys are tremendous musicians, tremendous people. You guys are great. And sorry about that. Until we see you next time, guys, peace out, rock on. Always keep it real. And like the great Canadian philosopher Ben Coombs says, hold those doors open for people. Until next time, God bless you all. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.